Alright, patch note time. Now, I will warn you, I don't know the move names to almost any of these moves. So, there is a good chance we're gonna have to look up some of these move names. I still play Ryu quite a bit, actually. Alright, I'll open this up just in case. But I'm gonna rely on the chat's extensive knowledge of move names. There's one thing the chat's good for, it's not playing fighting games. It's knowing the lore of fighting games. I guess we'll start from the very top with the system changes. A couple of big system changes in this patch. First, crush counters increase scaling. I don't know if anybody's done the math on how many hits it counts as. I feel like it counts as 2 hits for scaling now or something. But yeah, crush counters increase the scaling when combos start. If you see now, doing crush counter into V-trigger activation scales your combo like crazy, which is great, right? I think that's a good change overall. It's one that makes me pretty happy, right? It reduces the comeback factor on crush counters and V-triggers, especially in combination. They made the V-trigger change at the start of the season. So the combination of the two, good choice. I like it a lot. Helps reduce like big comeback factor through V-trigger and crush counter, and not through, you know, just like making 3 to 4 right decisions. Also, I think a good choice because it makes uppercut a little better to do on wake up, right? Yeah, let's crush counter change is great. It makes so that uppercuts are a little less risky on wake up. It means that raw crush counters and V triggers in the neutral are a little worse when you like get a crush counter, you activate into V trigger, dash up, do a combo. It's great. I like that choice a lot. Throw escape. Change so that a throw break cannot be performed after the move has been input, with the exception of normal and unique moves. This is to weaken the defensive tool, weaken the defensive technique of using certain special moves together with throw breaks. This was the throw tech OS that you saw that was pretty common. Characters like Akuma and Chun-li and Rashid, those kind of characters. Yeah, like that. Those kind of characters had option selects they could do with their special moves to throw escape and do the special move if you try to shimmy them or whatever. So yeah, this is a good change, I think. In some ways, and a bad change in others. I like throw techs not being the end of your life, especially with the changes that this patch has to throw techs. But you know, this is one of those changes that's like, I don't know. I wish that there was still throw tech OS with the jump back, to be honest with you. I wish that there was some kind of throw OS that you can use in this game, but they've nerfed defense again, but then made some of the defensive characters stronger. So I don't know. It's like it's a strange change to me, but it's one that they've picked. Normal damage, or normal throw damage. It says increase parameters for characters that have less reward on hit. Basically, they're saying if their throw leaves you farther away, they've buffed the throw. So any character whose throw resets you to neutral got a buff, whether it be in damage or stun or whatever. But also, this is the start of the language that Capcom uses in this patch that makes no sense to me, right? Increased parameters for characters that have less reward on hit. What a weird way to say made the throws of characters who throw you farther away stronger. But alright, you know. V reversals. Overall rebalancing for the move startup and performance. They made V reversals a little slower. Another weird change. I wish V reversals were a little faster. But again, it seems like it's one of those situations where they've decided to buff the defensive characters but nerf defensive tools, which is a weird change. I don't know. Anyway, Ryu. Shoulder throw. It's his forward throw. Damage increased. Recovery increased. So Ryu, less advantageous after his forward throw. At least that's what I assume, right? Recovery increased. That must mean he's less advantaged. But he gets more damage. 130 now. And his back throw, which puts you super far away, goes up to 150. The incentive here, obviously, to make it so that pressure after throws is weaker, but eating the throw is more dangerous. There's a mentality that's very common that's just eat the throw, right? Like, don't take the throw bait, just eat the throw. Yeah, he used to be able to get crouching medium kick, right? I don't know what his meaty is after this anymore. That's a good question. But yeah, this is something that they've changed, right? So they've made it so that throws that keep you further away do more damage. Notice that the forward throw leaves you kind of close, so it's 130. The back throw throws you really far away, 150. It's a common change that's kind of made across the board in this patch, you'll notice. Standing medium kick. Remove the forward hurt box that appears before the hitbox active frames. Makes this button a little better on startup. Right? Oh, yeah. It's definitely still better to eat the throw in most situations. It just makes it more dangerous to always do it. Also, standing light punch reduced the upwards hitbox in an attempt to remove anti-air jabs, which I think are still in the game. Crouching medium kick. Change so that the collision box will emerge forward when the hitbox becomes active. I'm not actually sure what this change is supposed to do. I don't know. It's a good question. Jodan Nirengeki. I assume this is donkey kick. Enforce the combo count restrictions. Added float if the final hit hits midair, right? Maybe they forgot to do it. This is the target combo. Oh. Added float if the final hit hits midair. That's interesting. That's a weird change. I don't know if they'll ever make his target combo that useful. I've seen some stuff this patch that has they have mix-ups with it, but it's one of those situations where like you just like, I don't know. It can be useful off like you have V trigger and you activate it and go for some cool mix-up, but yeah, it's alright. V trigger 1, increase the length of the V timer from 800 frames to 1000 frames. That's nice. He gets to keep it longer. Ishin, what is this? Is this his parry? Change the counter judgment will become active from 1 frame. Okay. What was it before? It wasn't 1 frame, right? It was like 3 or something. Remove the counter hit judgment from a successful one. Ah, so you don't get counter hit once it activates. That's interesting. Can cancel the recovery into EX donkey kick only on hit. Can be canceled into the axe kick and solar plexus strike. That's nice. It makes it a little bit better. Before, right, you just got raw uppercut. So gave him a little bit more reward on using that parry, which is not bad in some matchups. Actually, I think it's okay. V Hadouken, increase the V timer usage of each V Hadouken from 50 to 100. So they buffed how long it lasts, but they also increased how much the Hadouken removes it by double. Jeez. EX Hadouken, change the position at which movement is possible after the move. I assume this means where the character is after. I don't know. H Shoryuken, damage increase by 10 for first active frame only. Hit stop increase for first active frame only. Damage increased by 10 on heavy uppercut from first active frame, huh? So slightly more damage. EX Shoryuken expanded the forward hitbox so it hits forward a little bit better. Yeah, it's kind of a more vertical range on it, right, than I guess. Change the opponent's behavior on the first hit. I think this is to make it hit a little bit more consistently, where the first part of it might not connect as cleanly as some other uppercuts do. That makes sense to me. V Shoryuken, change so that consume V timer gauge. Wow, 150 frames for this uppercut. So they really did not make his uppercut that much better. Like, it seems much louder than the rest of the songs I was listening to. Right now, Ryu can't cancel a V-trigger Shoryuken into CA if that Shoryuken drains the last part of your V-trigger. In this patch, that's really weird. I wonder why that happened. What is this? Target combo, reduce the opponent's knockback distance, increase the forward travel distance during the move, ease the combo count. This must be the target combo, right? That's donkey kick. Reduce the opponent's knockback distance. Right, I've seen people get new meaties off of this, right? I've seen people get axe kick meaties and stuff. Increase the forward travel distance during the move. I think that makes it connect a little bit better off of some of his normals. Ease the combo count so you get some more juggles off of it. Yeah, he did get some buffs, although his V-trigger is slightly... It's buffed but nerfed, right? It's like a buff but a nerf. Also, my webcam is looking weird up there. Hold on. That's a little better. It's like a buff but also a nerf, right? He got a little bit of both. I wonder why Ryu didn't get a little bit more love this version. I think maybe they predict if the game slows down a little bit, he'll be a little stronger, but I still don't know if I buy it. I feel like Ryu stayed about the same, right? He stayed about the same. He definitely didn't get better and probably didn't get worse. All right, Ken, damage increase makes sense. Added 1 frame of recovery after the throw. I think this is to stop the semi-throw loop situation in the corner he still had if you woke up with a button. Backwards throw, damage increase, right? Obviously, because it leaves you further away, you make the damage go up a little bit. Reduced standing light punch, upward hitbox. Common change, it seems like. Crouching light punch, pushback on hit, slightly decreased. Pushback on block, slightly decreased. This means he has a real throw mix-up off of down jab now. This is a nice change for Ken. Crouching light kick, increase the pushback on hit. This makes it so that some of his light confirms aren't as good as they were before. In fact, it seems like crouching light kick, standing light kick, MK Tatsu does not get all the hits, so you can't juggle as cleanly afterwards anymore. That is definitely a bummer for Ken. It makes his low hit confirm worse. Quick step V skill, damage reduced, stun reduced, added float value for airborne hit, ease the combo count. Expanded the collision box only when performed from Chin Buster, second cancel. So he can do back strong, fierce, run, step kick, and it juggles. You can juggle after a little bit more. That's cool. That's a cool change for Ken. I don't know if it's great. They reduce stun and damage, huh? You really only use this move when you're spacing out after a fireball or when you're activating into V trigger. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you can ease combo count. I think this is to help with juggle situations. You almost never use it in juggles, right? But I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe that's something to do with the step kick change. EX Shoryuken, change so that I can hit opponents who are behind Ken, right, to juggle a little bit more consistently. Expanded the collision boxes for the first Shoryu hit, making it harder for an opponent to fall behind Ken during midair hit. In this version, because there's no hard knockdown, what happens is EX uppercut misses a lot of the times behind the back, and there's no hard knockdown, so yeah, you just get smoked. They just quick rise and punish you. That definitely sucks. Shinryu can ease combo count, reduce the horizontal knockback distance for max button press version, damage reduced on max button press version. I don't know that I will see a lot of use of Shinryuken even with these changes. Even with better juggle potential or less knockback, so you might get Oki. I don't see people using this more than V-Trigger 1. V-Trigger 1 is just so good, right? And in this version, he gets like so much corner carry with back strong fierce, run, step kick, juggle after. Like you can make it to the corner pretty consistently off of basically anything. So yeah, I don't know that I see that Ken players switching. Ken doesn't seem like he's changed that much in this version to me. And I didn't think he was that strong in the... I didn't think he was that strong before. So I think he's probably going to rest around mid-tier, right? Chun-Li is standing light punch and standing medium punch. Reduce upwards hitbox. I think to reduce anti-air jab situations like before. I think we can zoom in further on this webpage. Okay. I can't go to the right, can I? There we go. Forward throw. Change the distance from opponents. Yeah, this makes it tough for Chun-Li to meet after her forward throw. She had a good forward throw before against 4-frame characters. Like she could dash up, do crouching short. Ease combo count usually means allows you to juggle a little bit more. That's the like words they use for that. That's how they describe it. V skill can be canceled from normal moves and decrease the V gauge build on it. This is an interesting change. I don't think it seems that great to me, to be honest with you. I don't think it seems that great. But it's interesting, right? It just gives Chun-Li more juggle potential. It's a little bit inconsistent, it seems, though. Yokusen Kyaku. Decrease the advantage on crush counter from plus 19 frames to 18 frames. Decrease and cover on whiff from 13 frames to 18 frames. This is a forward heavy kick. Makes it so that she can't dash up, do down jab, stand strong anymore. She has to link a crouching short off of crush counter forward heavy kick. Which, that's a bummer. The other thing is that it has more whiff recovery. This is one of those normals that whiffs super fast. It's hard to whiff punish this move because it hits so late. So what would happen is she would do forward heavy kick, and by the time you'd be like, did that whiff? Maybe I should hit my... And you just get counter hit by something else. So more recovery on forward heavy kick. Kikosho changed so that the hitbox for the second hit onwards will not disappear when Kikosho collides with the opponent's projectile. So it just keeps coming out. Yeah, so that's alright. Interesting change. I don't think this is a good patch for Chun-Li. She didn't get better, I don't think. She definitely got a little worse, which is, you know, she was like a pretty good character before this patch, but now that's tough. I think she was crawling into the bottom of top 10 before, but she had some bad matchups that were very important, like Guile, and I don't think she beat Rashid. I also don't think she beat Menat. Those are all tough characters to lose to in the last version of the game, and that probably hasn't changed too much for her. Cammy expanded her upwards hurt box while crouching. Okay, I didn't realize that she had hurt box issues, although you rarely see it. Stun, increased stun, crazy. Gyro clipper, her forward throw, damage increase, stun decrease. So extra damage for stun, right? Back throw, damage increase from 140 to 150. So again, same kind of changes we've seen before, right? If your throw leaves you close, the damage generally didn't change too much. It maybe went up a little bit, but if your throw leaves you far away, like her back throw, you get more damage on it. Although it's strange that Ken's back throw did not get more damage and hers did, even though they're similar, and Ree's did. I don't know. Crouching light kick, increased pushback. This doesn't seem to be very far. If there is any pushback, it doesn't seem to be very far from what I've seen. Lift upper. This is our prior target combo, right? Can be canceled from Delta ambush and Delta step while V-Trigger 2 is active. That's an interesting change to V-Trigger 2. I don't think we'll see it that much, though. Right? Dun, dun, dun. L cannon spike. Invincible to airborne attacks from 1 frame to 6 frames. This makes her anti-airs a lot better. They nerfed her back medium punch, right? And so this is to kind of help alleviate her anti-air situations. V cannon spike can cancel in the V cannon strike on hit. Yeah, they made it so she can uppercut into dive kick. If it hits the full hit, she doesn't get anything after. If it misses, she can juggle. This is a really good buff. In fact, I think that even if... So because she has a 2-bar V-trigger, I think spending it early might not even be that bad of an idea sometimes, especially because you get Oki in corner position. And also you can juggle from it if you don't hit cleanly with the drills. So yeah, this is not a bad change at all. This is in fact very nice for Cammy player. Number of V-trigger blocks reduced from 3 to 2. This is V-trigger 2, right? The V-trigger timer will be completely consumed upon using the special moves Delta Step and Delta Ambush. So yeah, you get less use of it, but a shorter V-trigger bar. Delta Twist expanded the downwards hurt box. What the hell is Delta Twist? It's not uncommon. Reversal Edge. Damage increased from 70 to 80. The second attack will be considered a mid-air attack. The recovery on block will be the same as on hit. Recovery on block decreased from 11 to -5. Active frames 1 frame and 2 frame will be able to hit grounded opponents. What the hell is Reversal Edge? It's our V-trigger 2 grab. The Jaguar kick thing? Oh, gotcha. The recovery on block decreased to -5. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's better. Definitely better than it was before. I don't see people using V-trigger 2 that often. I think you might have a little bit of use of it in this version, but V-trigger 1 with the buffs and how good it is already, you probably won't see it that often. Cammy just got better this version of the game. I think that's universally agreed upon. Especially because, you know, a lot of the changes in this version of the game reduce crush counter damage. They reduce V-trigger damage. They made it so that many of the characters who have like explosive comeback factor are a little worse, which means her like game plan is very strong in this version of the game, right? Kind of the slow and steady, really great buttons, the air approach that's like almost nobody else has an air approach like Cammy, right? Like her air approach is very unique and it's very powerful. So you combine all those things together, and yeah, you have like a really strong character in this version of the game. I don't know. She's really good. Very strong character. Cammy is bottom 5 online in win rates. All right, I'm just gonna scroll past that. I know what you're referencing. Keep it down over there. Yeah, you also have to remember that in a patch, you can't look at it in a vacuum. You have to look at the entire patch for sure. When you look at all the other nerfs to the other characters, Cammy is just sitting in a great position. Bison, crouching live punch, reduced upward hitbox. This is supposed to stop anti-air jab, but I still see it working. Crouching heavy punch, expanded upwards hitbox to make his anti-air a little bit better. Forward throw, damage increase because it leaves you full screen. V-reversal change started from 16 to 17. This is a pretty common change this season, is changing the V-reversal frames to be universally 17 frames. EX double knee press. This makes it so that you can juggle afterwards if it hits airborne, right? This happens a lot to Bison players. It makes V-trigger 2 a little bit stronger, which some Bison players use and some don't. Psycho Judgment. Increase the combo count. Is this his explosion? Psycho Crusher. Damage increase when the lower body portion hits from 70 to 100. Maybe this makes it anti-air better. Or like hit out of the air and do more damage. Cammy is like a basic Street Fighter character, right? She's just simple, kind of boring, grounded character. So that's the kind of character I think they want to be good in this patch, which many people have asked for. They ask for it, and then when they get it, they're like, fuck, it's not my character. I don't know. This seems like a good patch for Bison, actually. Many of the characters that are strong, he's good against. Rashid gets nerfed, that helps him. He's good against Menat, so he's probably fine with that. I don't know. It seems like it's a fine patch for Bison to me. I think that he's probably going to sit in a good spot right now. Nash. I think they tried to help this man out a little bit. I don't think he's as bad in this season as he was last season, but I don't know. Not a great character. All right, Nash. Dragon suplex, forward throw. Damage increased, stun increased. That's a nice change, especially because in the corner, he lost a lot of the pressure that he used to get after forward throw. But, you know, this helps a little bit. Back throw, increased damage, right? It makes his throw a little bit more dangerous. A lot of characters are like this, right? Where their throw damage has increased a decent amount. That helps them out. It makes it so that taking the throw is even more dangerous than it already was. Like, you just eat 5 throws in a row. You're like, fuck. Standing medium kick changed so that it will not hit opponents who are behind Nash, only for the base hitbox. Yeah, maybe his standing medium kick anti-air was a little too crazy. I didn't really notice it being that weird, but that's an interesting change. Raptor combination slash bullet combination. Increase the forward movement distance on the second hit. Is that medium kick, heavy kick? V skill. Increased advantage on hit from +2 to +5. Yeah, you can combo back medium kick off of it now. Increase the V gauge meter gain. The target combo he has into V skill became a lot better because of this too. This is a good change for Nash for sure. Making the V skill like this. Medium kick, heavy kick, V skill target combo. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes that a much better choice. You can build V gauge a little bit more reliably. Moonsault slash. Change the recovery for the first active frame 1 frame on hit and block to be the same value as 2 frames. I wonder if that's a goal to make it so that the moonsault couldn't, it's like remove meaty moonsault being more plus or something. Sonic move hide. Reduce the recovery by 2 frames. Throw and projectile invincible from frames 1 frame to 3 frames. What is Sonic move hide? Is that V reversal? Is that V trigger teleport? What is this? Justice corridor. This is V trigger 2, right? Will not be able to perform stealth dash on whiff. Change the behavior when Nash overtakes the opponent's character. Fucking, I need to know the move names for these things. This is neutral V trigger 1. Okay. Oh, before because of Abigail side moonsault would be +2 and not combo. Whoa, that's weird. Does it not affect medium moonsault though? I would imagine it does. Justice corridor is the V trigger 2 dunk. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess this is an okay change. Overall, Nash seems slightly better. It feels like they're afraid to buff him too much, honestly. Because of how good, like, he was good in Season 1, not, like, crazy good, but he was pretty good in Season 1, and I think a lot of people are afraid to buff, they're, like, afraid to over-buff him, right? They don't want him to just, but then they keep Guile the way he is. I don't know, it's a strange choice. Strange choice. Nash overall a little better this patch, though. Not much, probably just a little bit. Vega. I don't know what they're doing with this character. I feel like Vega will never be good in this game. He needs like he needs a fucking ton of, I don't know, he's just such a weird design. He's not like a very cohesive feeling character. Forward throw and back throw increased damage, common change. Reduced anti-air jab, hitbox, common change. V skill attack can cancel into CA on block. I guess that helps chip out. Increase the distance at which it triggers the opponent's blocking motion. That's proximity guard. Increase the pushback on block. So maybe it makes it a little bit better to use this to space people out. I guess that's okay. I guess that's an okay change for him. The chip is definitely better. Damage increased on his, what is that, V trigger 1? That V skill buff is cool, man. I don't know how useful it is in practicality, but it's a cool buff. This is just increasing damage back on his V trigger 1. This got nerfed before, right? The damage on it. L Crimson Tear expanded the forward hitbox for the first hit. This was supposed to make it combo a little bit better. I don't know if that has worked, but they tried. Adjusted the input window on EX Flying Barcelona attack. I wonder if this means for when it's actually starting up or if when you're in the air and they're talking about doing different moves out of it. That's a good question. Flash Arc. Is this V trigger 2? Adjust the phenomenon where the attack would not connect after a successful parry. Okay, so you could parry something and then your strike would just miss. Fix the state where Vega would retain invincibility upon remaining in a neutral state after the attack concluded. That sounds like a weird bug. Okay. The V skill change seems like the nicest change to me, although I guess this is a good change too. These two changes to me seem like the biggest changes because the Crimson Terror one doesn't seem to be that consistent from what I've seen. Right. These three right here seem to be the biggest changes, although I guess the throw change is nice, but everybody got that, so it's not something you really have to think about too much. But yeah, these three changes seem okay. I don't expect Vega to be that good this patch, but you know, he seems okay. Dhalsim, increased damage on forward throw. This is terrifying to me. His forward throw is really good. He gets Oki off of it, which is probably why it's not like a 130 or 140 damage throw. Especially in the corner, it's really dangerous. Standing medium punch and medium kick, ease combo count. You know, he has some interesting juggles now. Drill kick, change so the move can be performed using down forward and down backwards diagonal directional inputs. This is to prevent, I think, people from accidentally missing their drills. Yoga Mala, V reversal, startup increase. Like most V reversals got this change. Yoga Guile, applied the combo count limit. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe stricter on what it can juggle with. Yoga Burner, increase the float on hit, increase the horizontal blowback distance on hit. This is V trigger 1, right? You can juggle after V trigger 1 now with standing medium kick or standing medium punch, I believe. I think standing medium kick is the better one though, right? Dhalsim seems like he's fine in this version of the game. I think that Dhalsim is like... It means the crazy EX Yoga Gale combos in the corner are nerfed. I imagined it did, but I wonder in what capacity. Can you do like EX Flame, EX Yoga Gale still? If not, then that's definitely a big damage nerf to him when he has 2 bars available. Yeah, I don't know. I think Dhalsim's, like, the nerfs to Rashid help Dhalsim in this version. Menat and Guile being good are probably fine for him since he fights those matchups okay. This seems like it's okay for him. I don't know. I think Dhalsim is not in a bad place. I think Dhalsim should never be super low tier or super top tier, right? He's not a character that you want to be like top 5. When Dhalsim is top 5, that's bad times. Right? He's like a character archetype that should be good but not amazing. For sure. You don't want him to be the best character. It's like Abigail. Abigail should never have been as good as he was. Zangief, standing heavy punch, uncharged version, cancel the timing, or change the timing for cancel in V-Trigger 2. That's interesting. Okay. I think I saw something about this on Twitter actually, like a video. Flying headbutt, reduce stun, change the hit effect from blowback to midair unrecoverable damage, can now be canceled. I saw some new combo potentially as with air headbutt now to like EX air SPD and stuff like that. It's interesting. Muscle explosion, V reversal, increase pushback on hit, increase pushback on block. Damn, he had a really great V reversal before actually, so maybe it makes it so the mix up after is not as powerful. Tundra Storm. The opponent's stun gauge will not recover during the animation lock. No one uses this move. EX Borscht Dynamite. Normal V-Trigger. Added a cancel specific action. Geef is not that good in this version of the game. He can kill you if he guesses right on like 2 situations, but he's not a super great character. So I don't know. I don't know that I see this changing him that much. The damage, the stun nerf to flying headbutt is like, yeah. You nerf the stun, but you make it able to juggle a combo and stuff. Like, how often do you hit people air to air with that move? Almost never, right? He's not a very strong character this season. He is much, much worse than he was in Season 2. That's for sure. Karin. Forward throw, damage increase. Makes her very scary in the corner, especially. Back throw, damage increase to 150. She's one of the few characters that got that 150 back throw, right? Not that many characters that got that. It's only for the throws that seem to leave you super far away. That's big for closing out rounds, actually, right? Back throw to close out rounds. It does a ton of damage, and it builds you extra bar. That's cool. Reduce the recovery at the throw by 2 frames, so even longer until she can move. She can't cover the distance easily. Jumping HP, reduce the hurt box, making it maybe a little bit better. V reversal, increase the horizontal blowback distance on hit, so she can't go up, run up and try to meet you, or I mean, she couldn't really meet you that well before anyway, but you know, pushes you a little further away. That can be a buff or a nerf. It depends on the character you're fighting against, right? Gurin Kusabi. Change the attack active frames from 8 frames to 11. Reduce the recover from 21 frames to 18 frames. What the fuck is this move? V-trigger slide. I think this is to make it juggle out of the air a little bit better. If this is actually V-trigger slide, then that makes sense, because you see it whiffing sometimes. Maoken is V-trigger, right? Uncharged version, damage decreased. Uncharged version used to tap to like get in on some characters, right? It's okay. Charged version, damage decreased. Charged version, V-gauge meter gain decreased. Ease combo count. You can juggle it a little bit easier. The reason they nerfed the damage on this is because you can do EX Tenko V skill now, right? So they made it so that you can combo into it a little bit more consistently, so they nerfed the V-gauge meter on it. I think this is to incentivize you to do EX Tenko V skill a lot. They also nerfed Tenko damage, EX Tenko damage, increased damage on EX Orochi. Orochi is what, the shoulder? So her combo routes might change a little bit. Using shoulder might be a little bit more useful than Tenko, especially in the corner. What the fuck is this move? Can be performed from cancelable moves. Reduce recovery by 5 frames for situation where the counter was successfully triggered, but the attack did not hit. This is her counter. Okay, reduce the damage for the grounded version from 120 to 100. Okay. Can be performed from cancelable moves. Was it not? Was it only special moves before? You couldn't cancel it from a cancelable normal? That's interesting. Reduce recovery by 5 frames for situations where the counter was successfully triggered, but the attack did not hit. It makes it so you can move a little faster. They kind of did a similar change to Vega's counter, right? I don't know. Karin in this version of the game is not nearly as strong as she was in Season 2, but still a solid character. I think that V-skill change is pretty big. But I also think it forces you to take the V-skill out of the air much more often than you did before. I think this is why you see many Karin players switching to other characters. Right. But we'll see. I don't know. Not many people are playing this character anymore. I think she lost a lot of her explosive power and is not quite as good as she used to be, but she'll still be fine. Our Mika, very few changes on this character. Crouching medium punch, increase horizontal blowback distance from midair hit, makes the 50-50 after anti-air is a little worse. Age shooting Peach, change the performance when performed as a cancel from Lady Mika. It juggles now, and you can do EX Peach after if the height is right. Rainbow Typhoon, EX Rainbow Typhoon. This is EX Giant Swing, and regular Giant Swing damage has gone up on every version. Her EX Giant Swing fucking hurts. 240 damage is huge. That's a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage on this. Yeah, I heard she had some V-Trigger 2 changes that they didn't put in there. It still has mix-ups on it, but most people still play V-Trigger 1, right? So yeah. I don't know. Birdie. Very few changes to this character, cool too. Stun decreased on forward throw. Crouching medium punch, active frames reduced. Recovery increased. So it makes his anti-air and post mix-ups a little bit worse, right? Maybe it doesn't hit as consistently. It's still probably one of the better grounded anti-airs. Crouching heavy kick, increased the disadvantage on block, expanded the hurt box after the active frames, and delayed the timing at which the post-active frame hurt box disappears. Increased the pushback on block. Much easier to punish Birdie sweep now, which is one of the key normals he used in many situations, right? V-reversal, startup increase, universal change. Birdie got a decent amount of nerfs in this one, right? And I think it's because a lot of people in Japan especially thought he was super powerful. I don't know if that was as common of an opinion in the West, but they thought he was a really valuable character, so you see that reflected in their changes. I think Mika stays about the same where she was. I think she's pretty good in this version of the game, actually. And I think Birdie is definitely worse. That sweep nerf really hurts. That sweep nerf hurts him a lot. Jeez, a lot of changes for Necalli. Standing light punch and crouching light punch. Reduce upwards hitbox. Again, same change we've seen universally to try to reduce anti-air jab. I don't know if it'll work. We'll see. Forward throw. Damage increase. And same with V-trigger, right? Damage increase. Back throw. Damage increase on both of them, right? They leave you further away. He had a throw nerf in this season of the game, right? Makes sense. Valiant Rebellion. The blowback on counter hit was changed to the same as the regular version. What's Valiant Rebellion? This is V-skill? Stomp? Oh shit. This is okay. The blow on counter hit was changed to be the same as the regular version, so that there's not like weird pushback on stomp. That's interesting, I guess. Pushback on hit for the second hit slightly increased. First hit can be canceled in V-trigger. I've seen some stuff with the new EX stomp into V-trigger actually. It's like it's crazy. It's a really interesting change. He had like some weird hard knockdown setups with it before, right? Yeah, plus 107. You can get like 5 dashes or something, right? I saw something like this from on Hamako's Twitter. It's interesting. EX the disc guidance. Damage distribution changed from 150, which is 35, 35, 80 to 40, 40, 70. And stun distribution changed from 25, 25, 150 to 50, 50, 100. They did this because the second hit can be canceled into V-trigger. And they increased pushback so that the combo you got wasn't super buff after. It's pretty great. This is a big change for Necalli, actually, right? This means that he can do EX disc guidance and then cancel it into V-trigger and get like, you know, standing fear stomp or whatever it is, or crouching fear stomp and then get a juggle and carry you to the corner. This is a big change to this character's combo potential and like combo routes, especially when he has EX bar. Clouded Mirror. Increase the cancellation window when canceling from Culminated Power and Sacrificial Altar. I'm going to need some help on this one. Pushback on blocks slightly decreased for the max charge version. This is overhead? Increase the active frames after landing the max charge version. Oh, this is the V-Trigger 1 stomp, right? Clouded Mirror is V-Trigger 1 overhead, right? The stomp. Culminated Power is V-skill. Yeah. I've seen a bunch of changes about this, right? How you can make it meaty. See, they increase the active frames after landing. So extra active frames means you can make it more meaty. I've seen some more stuff with this. This is a very interesting change, actually. It means, because before everybody played V-Trigger 2, right? Because you had the Fireball, which a lot of people thought was better. I think that's an interesting change in Necalli. He got some changes that I think helped this character, first of all, become a little bit more interesting, because I think he's universally agreed to be kind of boring. But second of all, make his Oki and V-Trigger options a little bit more appealing. I think before they weren't that strong. He needed these changes, and the reason he did is because the Crush Counter nerf is big for him, and the V-Trigger cancellation nerf was a big change to him, right? He really relied a lot of the times on getting big Crush Counter and V-Trigger activations into big damage, but the nerfs to those two things nerfed his overall damage output quite a bit. So these changes help him out a little, right? These help him out a little in terms of his strength. The changes to his throws, the changes to the V-Trigger 1 stomp, the activation, V-Trigger, go for the airborne stomp. What the fuck is the move of this name? Clouded Mirror. Interesting, okay. Helped them a little bit. I think Necalli will be in a fine place after this patch. He'll probably go up a little bit in this version compared to where he was before. Rashid. I want you to all put your hands together for Rashid and just cry together. Unless you weren't a Rashid player, in which case it was a good day. Look at these changes. It goes on forever. Decreased his overall stun value. They increased Cammy stun. Forward throw added 2 frames of recovery. Makes his Oki situation a little worse afterwards. Back throw stun decreased on his back throw down to 150. Standing light kick advantage on hit decreased from +4 to +2. This means you can't combo standing light kick and a crouching jab anymore. His mash button gone, right? The button that he uses, his 3-framer, doesn't work anymore. And because the advantage went down to +2, I don't think you can counter hit combo into medium punch anymore, right? So you can only counter hit combo into jab. Advantage on block decreased from +2 to +1, meaning that his frame traps are a little worse against 4-frame characters as well. That's a big change too. Actually, just in general, I guess, huh? Is now cancelable, so standing light kick can go right into mixer. Standing fierce, advantage on block decreased from +0 to -3. Block recovery reduced by 3 frames. This is big. It makes it so that you can jump out of EX whirlwind pressure. It makes it so that standing fierce is not as degenerate of a pressure move. That's a big nerf to him. Although a fierce being 0 on block is kind of crazy anyway. Standing medium kick. Recovery increased from 15 to 17. A little bit easier to whiff punish. Advantage on hit reduced from +2 to +1. Disadvantage on block increased from -2 to -4. Punishable on block now. It goes a little further, and the advantage is a little worse. Although counter hit, you should still be able to do... Well, no, I guess you can't probably counter hit combo as easily, huh? Damn. +1? That's so bad. Oh, man. Whew. That's a big nerf. Crouching medium kick. Changed cancel timing to... What is this? This is V-Trigger 2. Delayed by 3 frames. Crouching HP. Reduced recovery for the first hit on block by 3 frames. They made it so that his tornado pressure is much easier to get out of. Much easier to get out of a lot of it in this version of the game compared to what it was before. Yeah, V-Trigger 2, right? Flap spin. Reduce the recovery for the first hit on block by 3 frames. Sped up the startup of the second hit by 1 frame. What the hell is flap spin? Is that forward medium punch? Yeah, you can actually jab through a button into EX Tornado. Even with a 4-frame character, which is wild. If it was 3-frame, that would make sense, but even 4-frame characters get out. Wall jump. Increase the interval between clinging to the wall and jump by 2 frames. Makes it a little easier to tell if he's going to do wall jump or... I guess it's actually to make it so that you can air-to-air him a little bit easier. Although still probably hard. L spinning mixer. Pushback on block decreased to make it easier to punish. Landing recovery on whiff increased from 11 to 16 frames. So that's a big change there. Block stop for the third hit increased by 4 frames. So spinning mixer doesn't push back as far, meaning that if he extends it, easier to punish, you'll be a little closer. L Eagle Spike. Sped up the startup when performed in close range. Maybe makes the combo more consistent. EX Eagle Spike. Changed so that Rashid will bounce off the opponent when blocked. Brutal. Right off the backboard. When you block him, he just boing, bounces right in front of you. You get the punish instead of flying through you. EX Eagle Spike was one of the best moves in the game before, I think. Corner switch, combos after, -8 full screen. This is one of the most this is definitely one of the best moves in the game before this nerf. Right, this is a huge move. This is a big change. EX V Eagle Spike. Damage decreased, stun decreased. Airborne Eagle Spike. Damage decreased, stun decreased. EX V-Trigger Airborne Eagle Spike. Damage decreased, stun decreased. Advantage on block gone up. Increased pushback on block. Whirlwind Shot. Damage reduced, stun reduced. EXV Whirlwind Shot. Damage reduced, stun reduced. And this is his... What is this? Invincibility frames change. This is super, right? Damn. So his V-Trigger 2 got beat up. You see many players going back to V-Trigger 1, actually. Yeah, that stun makes CA vulnerable to V-reversals now. Yeah, exactly right, because of the change to it. That's brutal. A lot of things lost here for Rashid. I think, overall, the character won't be low tier, though. I think he'll probably still be a mid-tier character. I think people are overrating how much he has been damaged. He was probably the strongest or second or third strongest character in the game before this. Yeah, the standing light kick nerf I think is the toughest nerf for sure overall. That one's bad. Like the EX Eagle Spike nerf, well, he still has good corner escape, whatever, right? Standing light kick, that's a huge change. That really affects the way this character can be played. Laura. Forward throw. Added 2 frames of recovery at the throw. Big nerf. Slightly increase the separation distance upon landing the throw in the corner. Remove some of her corner pressure a little bit. Standing medium punch, reduce the backwards hitbox, so probably behind the head when she does the elbow. Standing medium kick, increase the advantage on hit from +3 to +4. Makes it so she can combo a standing light kick without counter hit. Crouching heavy kick, recovery increased on whiff and on block by 2 frames. Okay. Her sweep, I feel like, is pretty fast. Is it 8 frame sweep? And it also seems like it recovers quick to me, I guess, and I never really thought about it. Linear movement, this is her V-skill, right? Is now subject to counter hit. Wasn't it always? I feel like it was. Expanded the collision boxes in the upwards direction during this move, only when performed from Thunderclap. Double slap, startup increase from 16 to 17, this is forward fierce. EX Sunset Wheel expanded the forward hitbox for the second active throw frame. This is for when you do it as a meaty. That's interesting. Startup increased on linear movement from 34 to 32. They should have said 32 to 34, but anyway. Matsuda Sway. Changed so that the dodging motion will not consume V-Trigger timer gains. That's cool, but people are still going to play V-Trigger 1. Shock Choke. V-Trigger V-timer consumption amount increased. Fix the phenomenon where Laura would have her box during the move's animation. Yeah, I don't know if that matters that much. So basically, the big change now is that she's in counter hit state during her V-Trigger 2. V-Trigger 2. V-Trigger, her command dash is a little bit... It's a little bit easier to punish, right? It's in counter hit state like a Ken run or something like that. And made it so that it's a little harder for you to go under and get mix-ups with the fireball. So like there's setups where you like put out the fireball, dash under, and you sandwich them and stuff like that. Not going to be nearly as common now. Maybe some people will play V-Trigger 2 a little bit more. I guess it depends on the matchup, but I still think V-Trigger 1 is powerful. To be honest with you, I didn't think Laura was that great in Season 3 overall. So nerfs to her in this version feel like it's going to be tough for her. I don't think she'll be bad in this version, but yeah. I don't know that I see her being like super good. I don't think she's super good. In fact, I think that the standing medium kick nerf was one of her bigger nerfs overall. I think that hurt her neutral game a lot. 5 frame medium that went super far. That was like really buff. We see how strong that is on Akuma as well, right? I don't think Laura was dead before. No, I thought she was a fine character. I didn't think she was super strong. I didn't think she was very weak. Damn, y'all are all Laura players, huh? It makes sense. Jesus. F.A.N.G. Very few changes. Standing light punch, reduced for anti-air jab purposes. Forward throw, 2 extra frames of recovery. He had one of the forward throws that you can do okay after in terms of pressure, although his back throw gives him more. Ease the combo account. What the hell is this move? I don't even know what this is. Increase the overall movement frames from 30 to 31. This actually... This is V-reversal, right? They nerfed escape V-reversals pretty bad. I don't know why they did this. I didn't think escape V-reversals were that good before. Oh, ease the combo count on super so he can do it a little bit earlier. That's combo into it easier. Okay. I don't know. F.A.N.G got like almost nothing here, right? He got a little bit of a nerf actually, in fact. The developer comments are exactly like, all right, I'll predict to you what the developer comments are for F.A.N.G. Slightly change character's situation after certain things to reflect the idea that was happening in our heads. That's like what the developer notes are, right? It's fucking, I don't know what they're saying. The Sakura one was like made slight adjustments to change how we think Sakura should be. I'm like, all right, well, you know, you got me. They don't really say much. There's not like, the thing about developer comments is that it shouldn't be what exactly you did. It should be the why of why you did it, right? All right, we felt that F.A.N.G had this, this, and this, and that they needed to be slightly changed. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Alex has got a decent amount of changes, right? Back throw, damage increase. This is common, actually. This is a common change. Standing light punch, reduce upwards hitbox. Same kind of thing we saw before, right? Increase active frames, reduce the recovery. I wonder why they reduce the cover. Standing HK will force the opponent to stand on hit. Yeah, that helps a little bit. Crouching LP, reduce upwards hitbox. Again, trying to nerf anti-air jab. Crouching HP, increase the float on hit. Yeah, he gets new combos on this, right? I've seen that. Lariat can now be canceled. That's a cool buff. Chop, increase the disadvantage on block from -6 to -8. That's a big change. Flying cross chop, ease the height restriction at which the move can be performed. Ease the combo count, increase the float for mid-air hit. He gets now some cool juggles with the air dive, right? That's the flying chop cross. Big boot, startup increase from 16 to 17. Is big boot HK? What is that? M flash chop, reduce the startup from 19 to 18. Okay, H flash chop, damage increased. It's hard to combo into H flash chop anyway. Chop is his overhead, right? V reversal. Ah, yeah, V reversal change. That's common. Okay. This chop is interesting because he has ways to make his flash chop trade a little bit easier now, right? H air knee smash, ease the combo count, delayed the timing at which he can gain move again after hit by 4 frames. This means a recovery after, basically. Increased separation distance on hit. It's really hard to combo into his H air knee smash, I feel like, right now. Standing medium punch to medium punch chop is a natural combo now. I saw that. Yeah, because of the reduced startup. There was a change like that to Sakura as well, right? Flying DDT, damage decreased, but sped the startup as by 3 frames. I saw that you can do like low medium kick DDT now. That's pretty good. That makes it a little bit more tempting to pick that, right? Because V-Trigger 1 seemed like the obvious choice right now. Yeah, I saw that too, that you can do anti-air crouching heavy punch and H air knee smash, although you don't have good Oki after, right? Because of the distance. Like, this move was almost never used before, right? These are cool changes to Alex. I think that this actually might help him a little bit in this version of the game. I don't see him being top tier at all. But these changes all help him out, right? Makes his anti-airs a little bit more damage. Makes his juggles a little bit better off crouching fierce, which is scary when you're like point blank in V-Trigger 1 and he mixes you up between down fierce or command throw. It means the character's a little bit more dangerous, right? And Lariat also becomes a more damaging counter poke. These are all cool changes, I think, to this character. These are all nice changes to this character overall. These are good buffs. I don't see this character becoming top tier. He's probably like still mid tier. But he's probably not the worst character in the game. Although I don't think he was before, actually, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, Vega was really whack, the other version. Guile. Oh boy. Forward throw. Damage increased. Stun increased. Crazy. Reverse back knuckle. His V reversal 17 frames. Yeah, I think a lot of people are not surprised. Recovery increased on hit. I bet you this makes it so that reversal boom, or like immediate boom after, is you can jump over it. They try to do the same thing to his forward throw, right? Sonic boom. Pushback on block slightly decreased. This makes it so that his zoning is a little worse, but it makes it so that his pressure is a little bit better, right? I actually can't explain to you why they nerfed Geef again. That's out of my realm of understanding. I don't have the cosmic brain it takes to understand that. Knife edge cannot be activated by V-Trigger cancel from a regular Sonic boom. This is V-Trigger 2. But EX boom, you can go into it, right? That's interesting. Somersault kick. Increase the horizontal blowback distance on hit. This is a crazy change, by the way. Change so that the condition after the active frames cause counter hit for the regular and EX version are the same as the regular version. Okay. I don't think that changes that consequential, but that's interesting. The somersault kick, the upside down kick, or sorry, not upside down kick, flash kick pushes you like full screen. It pushes you super far. This reduces some of his combo potential in some situations, but increases them in other situations, right? So it, like flash kick super doesn't work as consistently anymore, right? It doesn't really do it. You have to do like boom in a super, but also it's interesting because what's it called? It makes his zoning way better because you always push them to full screen after an anti-air flash kick. They got all the way back and then they have to walk and block, which is a little easier now because the sonic boom has less pushback. But damn, yeah, he doesn't get Oki anymore. But now, like if you flash kick and they're back to full screen, you could probably just V-skill and throw the boom. There's very few characters that Guile will feel the hurt on this off of, right? The thing is that he doesn't have Oki after flash kick, but what characters does Guile usually need to get Oki on? Characters that he loses the neutral to. What characters does Guile lose neutral to? Not many, right? That's the thing about Guile. So, a good change for him, I think, overall. Hard for him when he needs a comeback, but good for him when he has the lead. You know what I mean? I think Guile is still one of the best characters in the game in this version. These are good changes for him. It's one of those things where it's like, as long as you're in the lead and you're playing against a character you win neutral against, Guile will fuck you up when he flash kicks you, because you're like, boom, full screen. If it's a character he needs to get on, like Menat or Dhalsim or something, it sucks because he loses it, but yeah. Ibuki. Damage increase on throw, damage increase on throw. Common change, right? This is a really common change for almost every character. Jumping heavy kick, expanded downwards hitbox and hurtbox. So bigger hitbox, but maybe easier to anti-air. We'll see about that. Kazakiri, this is uppercut, right? Change the damage for the last hit only to 70. Is this to make it a little bit better when it's a far range anti-air? That's a good question. V reversal, start up to 17 frames, pretty common. Decrease the active frames from 13 frames to 4. Damn. Reduce the hitbox, increase the log's movement speed, change to be uniformly -2 on block. Yeah, I think before it could hit kind of strangely, right? Pushback on block slightly decreased. This is a decent buff to her V reversal actually. Doesn't seem that bad. What is this? Shuriken damage reduced, damage increased. One of them is reduced, one of them is increased. Which one is this? Haku? Which one is Haku? Is that grounded or airborne? Man, there's so many. I just realized we're on the DLC characters for season 1, and there's still a shit ton of characters left. So Haku, so damage on grounded is reduced, but damage on airborne is increased. That's interesting. Anti-air Shuriken already did a lot of damage, right? I mean, it like led to a confirm that did enough damage. Overall, probably a decent character in this version of the game. I mean, I thought Ibuki was pretty good before, and like probably like bottom of top 10 kind of character. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but. Should be good this version of the game. The throw damage increase really is so scary, man. You get a lot of fucking damage in this game. Balrog, forward throw damage increase. V reversal change, universal. H screw smash. Reduce startup, increase forward movement. This means off crush counter roundhouse, you can do the screw upper at most ranges, or screw smash at most ranges. Not all ranges, but most. B3. Upon V-trigger 2 activation, can be canceled from Hard Smasher, Hard Pressure, Buffalo Swing, and Buffalo Pressure. The recovery when performed from the second hit of Under Impact was different than that of Crazy Rush, so fixed to be consistent with Crazy Rush. What the fuck are all these move names? Right? No Mercy. Will combo when performed by from a cancelable normal on hit. Reduce the recovery after the throw by 8 frames. Change the status after hit when the corner after hitting the corner when about to be the same as the middle of the screen. Expanded the forward hitbox when performed from a cancel. B3 is the command throw, right? It allows you to cancel your normal moves that are cancelable into the command throw. This is buff. This is very buff. Yeah, this is from his special moves, right? This is really buff. It means that you can get high stun value and Oki off of his command throw after almost every situation, right? Like whenever he does a grounded combo, he can just boom, they increase the range, boom, grab you, boom, 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 big stun, and then he forces a 50-50 to kill you. This actually makes it so that I think that V-Trigger 2 in many matchups is probably almost the better pick. It just depends. This is a really big change. I think it helps it. I think it helps him a lot for sure. I think a lot of people will play Balrog V-Trigger 2 now. Juri forward throw damage increase, 2 frames of recovery after the throw, makes sense. Her forward throw was pretty good before, actually. I'm not that surprised, but I don't know about nerfing this character. I thought she was pretty good last patch, actually. She's not that bad. Forward throw damage increase, extra recovery, reduced anti-air jab, Hitbox, standing heavy kick, reduce the downwards hurt box. It's supposed to hop over lows a little easier. What's Oki? Oki refers to pressure after you knock someone down. The mix-up you go for after you knock someone down. Jumping heavy kick. Increase the amount of EX meter gain when performed as part of a chain combo during Feng Shui. Does that mean like when you use it out of the air with like one of the target combos or something? This is a weird change. V-reversal change, pretty common. Is this her fireball? This is the heavy kick one? I don't know what this is actually. Heavy one. Ah, okay. So they made the damage go down on that a little bit. I'm surprised that they didn't nerf the fireball, right? The light kick version. That one's the one that's the real problem here. I'm actually surprised they nerfed Juri, even if it's only a little bit. She'll probably be very similar to where she currently is in this version of the game, but yeah, I'm surprised still. I won't lie. I find that a surprising set of changes to this character, given that right now not many people play her, and I don't think she's a particularly strong character. She's alright. Like, these aren't big nerfs, right? She'll still be bottom 5. I don't know that she's bottom 5. I think she's better than that. Urien. Damn, my man Urien got a bunch of changes. Spartan Bomb. Forward throw, stun increase. Back throw, stun decrease. So forward throw and back throw have the same stun now. Standing light punch, recovery increased. On whiff. He had the same thing for crouching light punch, right? Standing light kick. Advantage on hit increased from +3 to +4. This means he can combo standing light kick, standing jab. Advantage on block increased from +2 to +3. It means that this is kind of a buff and a nerf on standing light kick. To be honest with you. This is kind of a buff and a nerf. So before, standing light kick left you closer, and you were +2, so you got immediate throw. Right, you got immediate throw, which is great. +2 is the magic number for doing a throw, right? The problem now is that he's +3 with pushback, which means that the throw mix-up after is not as scary, but that you have a real like pressure series there, right? Because standing light kick, you can frame trap after with real buttons. You could frame trap after with real buttons because it's +3 on block. You can like down medium punch after and frame trap people, which is great. And that's a change that I think is very useful for Urien, right? So yeah, it's a bit of a nerf on standing light kick, but also a bit of a buff to make it naturally combo into other moves, right? So it's a little bit of both. The increased pushback distance also means standing light kick into standing jab strong, which is like his best confirm there. It doesn't always combo, but overall, probably not a bad change for this character. Not a bad change for this character. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It helps him out a little bit in the corner, I think. I wish it had an additional active frame. That's me being greedy. Standing heavy punch. Reduce the opponent pushback distance on crush counter. This makes it so that raw standing heavy punch, if you hit point blank or near point blank, you can walk up down fierce a little easier. It also means that crush counter fierce dash crouching medium punch down jab combos a little bit more consistent, and crouching medium punch standing light kick combos a little bit more consistent after crush counter. It's a good change for Urien. Crouching light punch, same changes that they made before, right? A little bit worse anti-air jab, which a lot of characters had, but increased recovery on whiff. Crouching medium kick, delayed the cancel timing for each version of Tyrant Blaze. You're gonna see this is common. You're gonna see it's down here with all the other Tyrant Blaze changes, but I'll come back to this in a second. Quarrel quick, increase the advantage on hit from +1 to +3. This is his snap kick, right? Down forward heavy kick, I think. Kind of not a hugely consequential buff, but it's cool. Terrible smash. Increase the disadvantage on block from -6 to -8. Break rush. Increase the disadvantage on block from -6 to -8. Pushback on block decreased. Pushback on block increased. This is overhead and forward medium punch overhead. They made it more negative on block, easier to punish now. -8 is a big number there. Much easier to punish, even if spaced well. Tyrant pressure. Change the length of V-trigger timer to be longer. Tyrant Blaze. Increase the horizontal blowback distance from the second attack of the hit. Increase the timer consumption because they buffed overall how long it lasts. Tyrant Blaze V-Skill Uncharged version. Increase the V-Trigger timer consumption. Decrease the recovery for the first hit only by 4 frames. Change to have armor properties until 8 frames after the first hit. Expanded forward hitbox. So they made it overall so that his V-Trigger lasts longer but also consumes more. Right, consumes a little bit more. This is a change they made to a few characters, like Ryu's one of them. They made it so that his V-Trigger canceling off of normals, like crouching medium kick in particular, is not as strong as it was before. I think before it was a little degenerate, to be honest with you. I think it was a little too degenerate in how strong it was. The other change right here, they made it a little bit better when he uses V skill. That's always nice. Increase the V trigger timer consumption as well. Change to have armor properties until 3 frames after the first hit. Nice. And that's all. This is on charge version only. Expanded forward hitbox. Cool. Overall, I mean, this is one of those situations where it's like V-Trigger 2, a little nerf overall. I think many people still played V-Trigger 1 anyway. But yeah, slight nerfs to this. Not many people use V-Trigger 2 that much. I think it's okay in some matchups. It just depends. But I think crouching medium kick V-Trigger 2, a little too degenerate, especially because it could frame trap characters very easily if you didn't have the timing on point. It was a frustrating thing to deal with, for sure. Urien's very good in this season of the game, for sure. For sure. The increase on how often you get... The increase on the V gauge consumption is pretty big, too. Yeah, not too big of changes here, overall. Urien's fine. The big problem that he'll have this season is that he doesn't fight Guile that well, and he doesn't fight Cammy that well. Akuma. What is this? I don't know what this move is. This is uppercut? Is this V-trigger uppercut? That's hard. Reduce upwards hitbox. Yeah, anti-air jab a little worse. Steady medium kick. Recovery increased. That's a good change on whiff, right? Makes it a little easier to whiff punish. Again, reduced upward hitboxes. Oh, it made it... This is demon flip. Right, behavior on whiff unified with the EX version. Does that mean it'll always go to the slide? Is that what they're talking about? Or whiff as in terms of whiff recovery? That's a good question. I'm not sure. Okay. Crouching heavy. Recovery increased from 16 to 20 frames. Longer recovery, easier to whiff punish. This is one of those moves that you just throw out in neutral looking for crush counters all day. It's one of those. So yeah, this change is good, I think. V reversal change, that's pretty common. EX uppercut, expanded collision boxes, making it harder for opponents to fall behind Akuma. This happened a lot. And it was because of this change that they made before, right? To remove the hard knockdown. They tried to make it so that it doesn't happen as much, where the uppercut misses and you can quick rise and punish him. That's someone who sucks, right? That's something that sucks. You don't want that to happen. Can no longer cancel Hadouken, EX Hadouken, blah, blah, blah on whiff, right? This is V-trigger activation, right? You can't whiff cancel into V-trigger anymore. That's a pretty big change for Akuma. Fixed phenomenon where upon canceling into from certain special moves, Akuma retained invincibility frames. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, it's good to know. Change so that collision boxes will not move forward during recovery. Increase the amount of EX gauge his opponent will gain on hit from 60 to 100. What is this move right here? Only in V-trigger 2? Yeah. They did that change to Guile as well, right? CA. Okay, that's interesting. So you build more bar from getting hit by a CA. I guess that's nice. It usually always kills, though, I feel like. That's nice. Akuma is very good in this version of the game. He has not changed that much overall. Some of his normals got a little easier to whiff punish. That doesn't change his ground game completely. He's very good. He's very good in this version of the game. I don't see him changing that much in terms of where he is on the tier list. Definitely got nerfed much less than many of the other top tier characters. Him and Guile are still very similar to where they were before. Kolin. Well, you know, Kolin, it was a good run. You had a solid couple of months. Forward throw damage increase. Standing HP increased the disadvantage from -2 to -4. Yeah, this makes fishing with fierce all day a lot worse. That's a good change. I like that change a lot. Crouching LP, reduce upward hitbox, good change. Crouching light kick, delay the timing for cancel and absolute 0 by 3 frames. Does this make it so that it doesn't combo? Yeah, I think she's still good, but come on, bro. Oh, V-trigger 2. Oh, absolute 0 is V-trigger 2. That makes sense. I mean, come on, bro. She is crazy before. She was much crazier than this. Expanded upwards hurt box. Okay. Delay the timing for canceling an absolute 0. Reduce the backwards hitbox. Reduce the active frames from 3 to 2. Dang, that's a big change to her crouching medium kick. This is one of the better grounded pokes, right? Counter hit combos into her standing light kick from very far. The V-Trigger 2 nerf means that she probably can't get fierce, right? Yeah, I imagine that that's what it is. She can't get fierce at some of her ranges. Crouching heavy kick, unified, cancel timing for both first hit, for both hit, for the first hit, for both hit and block. For the first hit, for both hit and block. Okay, I got it. That's interesting. Yeah, crouching heavy kick is such a weird normal for this character. I don't know. Crouching heavy kick V-trigger cancel is buff. That's for sure. Cold low. Unified the cancel timing. Again, same thing that they did up here. Made it so it's a little bit more consistent on when you can cancel out of it. Same change here. Recovery increase from normal and V-trigger versions on hit by 5. What is Brinicle? What is the move name for this? Frostspike. Can cancel into absolute 0 on block. What the hell is Frostspike? Is this her runs thing? Is it that one? Snowgrain. Unifying the cancel timing. Yeah, same kind of thing it was before. I remember looking this up when the patch dropped. Diamond Dust. Damage increase. They're trying to give you more incentive to play V-Trigger 1, huh? Frostspike is light, medium, heavy. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Forward dash. Increase the V-Trigger consumption. That's a big nerf. She needed that probably. Inside slash V-Trigger. Decrease the advantage on hit from +3 to +2. Decrease the disadvantage on block from -7 to -8. This is her target combo that can combo into stuff, right? Frost Tower. Increase the amount of EX gauge her opponent will gain on hit from 20 to 100. They made the same change with Akuma, right? This is one of those things with Kolin that overall she's still a good character, but not as ridiculous as she was before. I don't think people. I thought she was so good before, even better than I think most people did. I think I probably had her higher than most people, but I think that she's probably in a better position this patch than she should have been before, right? I think she was maybe a little bit too high. Her V-Trigger 2 is not quite as powerful as it used to be, but all of her tools are still intact, right? I think that's an important thing about patching is that changing numbers is okay, but removing tools or gutting them is always a bad feeling, you know? Trying to find more creative solutions is nice, I think. Man, Menat got a lot of changes too. Didn't make Parabellum puts opponents on fire. That would have been great. Fucking dweebs. Menat, a character who I'm surprised got these changes, to be honest with you. Forward throw, added 1 frame of recovery after the throw. No big deal. Standing light punch, expanded the downwards hitbox so that it hits lower to the ground. Standing heavy kick, with and without ball, reduce the backwards hitbox so it doesn't hit behind her head. Her standing heavy kick was an excellent anti-air. Base of the hitbox only will now hit opponents who are behind Menat. Base of the hitbox. That's interesting. I wonder how that affects her overall anti-air position when standing heavy kick, especially without orb. Without orb, I thought it was really buff. One of the better grounded anti-airs in the game. So it makes sense. As much sense as it makes for high-powered tentacle action. Hit me with the Twitch Prime. Thanks very much, homie. Thanks to everybody who's spending their Twitch Prime on me. You don't have to do that, but I always appreciate it. They changed the inputs for a couple of things, right? Soul Throw got the input change, and I think Soul Spark did as well. Is that correct? I know Soul Throw is a different input. It used to be punches, and now it's kicks. It's interesting to think about. Soul Reflect, V-Gauge meter increased, and can cancel into V-Trigger, both of them. That's a good change for her as well. I had this happen to me yesterday. I was like, God damn it. Why can she do that? It was a big change. On block, V skill into V-Trigger. That's pretty big. The Reflect, we just talked about this one. Soul Reflect, barehanded. V-Gauge meter increased again. And it's double, right? It went from 25 to 50 or 40 to 80. That's crazy. This is a big change in terms of how much meter she gains. Yeah, change the input on these two moves, right? Forward, down, forward punches to forward, down, forward kicks. This is EX Soul Throw. Soul Throw has changed now. It's kicks now. Change the invincibility from 6 frames to 5 frames. Yeah, EX, I don't think EX Soul Throw is that good anyway in terms of, I don't think this changes the invincibility, or changes how effective it is as a move. It's still a good anti-air. Soul Spark input change to kicks instead. Try to reduce overlap in button commands. Reduce the damage from 100 to 80, but increase the chip damage and reduce stun. overall in a good position this patch. I think Menat was strong before and stays incredibly strong in this version of the game. When you have a character like this who benefits from neutral game, and you try to make a season where neutral game characters are strong, I mean, this is a buff character, man. This is a buff character. A character who I'm super surprised is staying as powerful as she is. She doesn't get stunned as easily. She'll just eat the throw, go back to neutral all day. This is a buff character. Anyway, Ed. I play a lot of Ed, so you know, these patch notes, it got me real hyped. Standing light punch, remove anti-air properties on both of these. Crouching medium punch, reduce the advantage on block from +3 to +2. That sucks. This was a great frame trap button for him before. It's still not that bad, but his frame traps aren't that consequential to eat, to be honest with you. Crouching HP, reduce damage. Crazy. When triggering a crush counter on an airborne opponent, the float value has been made the same as a crush counter on a grounded opponent, so it makes his juggles consistent. Kill step. This is V reversal. They also made it so as V reversal is punishable. Psycho slash EX Psycho Splash. Increase the move delay from Psycho Rising by 5 frames. This is his when he comes down like that, right? I think so that you can't time it in a particular way. Is that correct? Is this supposed to change how his Oki works after? I'm not sure. Psycho Snatcher on the ground. This is V skill, right? Reduce the V gauge meter gain for the non-charged version from 100 to 80. So it got a little worse. That's got me feeling pretty bad, but I feel better because Shirok36 just hit me with the subscription. Thanks very much. I can't believe they nerfed this V reversal and F.A.N.G's V reversal. That's crazy. Yeah, so V gauge has gone down on how much he builds. Reduce the V gauge meter gain for the charge version as well. Change the hit motion for the non-charge version. Added 2 frames of recovery for non-charge version on hit. Change so that if the first hit connects as a counter hit, the counter hit effects will carry over to the second hit. Reduce the recovery on whiff. So less recovery on whiff, but less V gauge overall. I can't believe they nerfed it. That's so crazy. Psycho Snatcher. This is the airborne version of his V skill. Reduce the recovery on whiff. That's a good. I like that it reduced recovery on whiff. Expanded downwards hitbox. Change so that if the first hit counts as a counter hit, the counter hit effects carry over. V gauge meter gain distribution is to be changed and according with the damage, etc. So nerfs to his V skill, nerfs and buffs to his V skill, but overall, like, I don't know. I like that it hits a little bit better on the ground. That's good. It sometimes whiffs when you throw it up in people's faces, which sucks. Fucking, I can't believe this. Psycho Cannon. Damage increase from 100 to 120. Reduce the startup from 16 to 13 when the move is performed with the forward input. Deleted the hurt box during the screen freeze. Okay, this is an okay change. Damn, 13 frames when you do it with forward, huh? Enhanced Snatcher. This is V-Trigger 2, correct? Reduce the recovery by 3 frames when performed from a cancel. Deleted the hurt box during the screen freeze. Ultra Snatcher Ground. On block will deal real chip damage instead of recoverable gray damage. Added a projectile nullifying hitbox aside from the attack hitbox. Okay. Expanded the horizontal hitbox for the first active frame. Reduced the horizontal hurt box. Reduce the amount of V timer consumption. They're trying to make it so that V-Trigger is a little bit more... V-Trigger 2 is a little bit more beneficial to use. I think many people still use V-Trigger 1. Expanded the hitbox for the attack active frames from 1 to 3. Changed the position of the hitbox for the attack active frames from 4 to 7. Reduce the amount of time it consumes. Correct. Psycho Barrage. Increase the amount of EX meter gain. Yeah, they made a lot of the CAs give people more meter on it. The thing about V-Trigger 2 is that V-Trigger 2 is cool, but the problem with V-Trigger 2 is that you still need to land hits to make it effective. V-Trigger 1 gives you a mix-up, or gives you damage, depending on whether it hits or not, right? That's cool. But V-Trigger 2, you activate it, and then you still need to hit them to make it count, right? Which is like, okay, I've got a V-Trigger, but now I need to land a hits to still make it worthwhile for me to use, you know? That's kind of it's one of those V-Triggers that's like, what's the benefit of activating it, really, right? You gotta make it work still on the ground. I don't know. It's a weird V-Trigger to me. Abigail. 1100 to 1075. Whew. How will he survive? Stun increase from 1050 to 1075. What an absurd number. Hurt box shape. Change the height of the hurt box and collision box for spinning knockdown damage. Okay. Red leaf forward throw. Increase the spacing distance on hit in the corner so you get more space. Standing light kick. Startup increase from 5 to 6. Means that he doesn't combo as easily. He doesn't get his light confirmed. Increase the pushback on block, making so that his tick throws are weaker. And his pressure after. Standing HP V trigger. Stun decreased on the charge version. Good change. Crouching light punch. Startup increase from 5 to 6. Makes his light confirms weaker. Reduce the downwards hitbox for the second and third active frames. Makes it a little easier to poke against this thing. Recovery increase from 10 to 12. Nice. It should be like 15, I feel like. Remove the counter hit judgment after the attack startup. Okay. Crouching light kick. Increase the pushback on hit. Can only be canceled into V trigger. So no longer cancelable. Reduced his light confirms, right? Made it a lot worse. So you can't do crouching light kick, standing light. He only has crouching light kick, standing jab, into Abigail punch, which doesn't work unless you're very close. Crouching heavy punch. Stun decrease for the charge version from 200 to 150. I like the stun changes. Vroom vroom. Increase the pushback on hit. What's vroom vroom? This is the punch. Abby hammer. Change so that only the third active frame will hit a downed opponent. Oh, this is when it OTGs, right? Abby blaster. The V trigger. Stun decrease for the charge version. That's what I'm talking about. Stun decrease. That's what I'm talking about. Light punch target combo. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Increase pushback on hit. Nice. So the light makes the light confirms even worse. Ontario drop. I didn't realize it was called that. Startup increased. Right. All these stun nerfs are great, actually. EX giant flip. Damage decreased. Stun decreased. MH Abigail smash. Makes the situation at the same as the light Abby smash. Expanded the hurt box during recovery. Abigail smash. What is the Abigail smash? Is that the giant flip? No, right? It's something else. Command throw. Ah, I gotcha. Okay. He has a wider hurt box during recovery. That's interesting. EX Abigail smash. Damage decreased. Nice. Okay. Bay Area sunrise. Added 4 frames of recovery after the throw. Good to know. That's running command throw, right? EX Bay sunrise. Increase the separation distance after hit. Added 3 frames of recovery after throw. Before his media situation is buffed. So not that surprised. Hybrid charged. Well, the advantage disadvantage when performed as a cancel from certain regular moves is different than that of max power. That's weird. That's weird. I didn't. Yeah. All right. That's not that big of a change. Metro crash. On block, opponent takes actual damage instead of recoverable damage. Reduce the upwards hitbox. Enforce combo count restrictions on the non-charged version. This is V-Trigger 2, right? Or is this something else? This is the punch. Damage increased from the non-charged version from 120 to 150. Stun increased from 150 to 200. That's all the stun increase they gave him. Damn. V-Trigger 2, right? Damage increase for the charge version. Damage increase for the max charge version. A lot of people are saying that they want to play V-Trigger 2 now. I don't know. V-Trigger 1 still seems really buff. Abigail punch. Enforce combo count restrictions, making it not juggle as much. Increase the knockdown time for the first hit. They made the Oki on non-mashed Abigail punch a little better. Stun decrease for the non-rapid version. Stun decrease from the rapid version. Added 8 frames of recovery to rapid version. Added 7 frames of recovery to rapid version M. So extra recovery frames afterwards if you mash it. EX Abigail punch. Same kind of changes, right? Decreased damage increased from non-rapid version. Damage decreased from rapid version. Stun decreased, recovery increased. I'll tell you right now, I think Abigail is still a very strong character. If not top 5, still probably top 10-ish. He's going to be really good in this version of the game still. He has a ton of life. He hits like a fucking truck still. The crush counter and stun changes that he received will be big, but not big enough to make this character as like a bad character. He won't be as much of a terror as he was before, but you are still going to lose the Abigail players. A lot of what makes him strong in the neutral has not changed. It's just how quickly he kills you. Zeku. Zeku got a lot of changes, right? It's only Zeku, Sakura, and Blanka left, right? Damn. Got through these faster than I expected. Zeku, forward throw damage increase, back throw damage increase, as well as stun. This is young Zeku, I guess. Yeah, we'll go up to old Zeku. Forward throw and back throw damage increase. Standing light punch, reduced upwards hitbox, reduced upwards hitbox. These are anti-air changes. Reduced upwards hitbox. That makes sense. Yeah, I went back up to old Zeku, don't worry. Jumping HP, expanded hitbox of the base. What does his jumping HP look like? I guess Yeah. I mean, it's an alright jumping. It's an alright jump in. It's not that great. Change so that it will not build EX gauge on hit or blocks. What is this move? V skill. V skill does not build EX gauge. That's interesting. Reduces startup from 17 to 12. Changes the opponent reaction from bullback to stagger on hit. Increase the pushback on block. This is one of the only V reversals that got changed in this way, right? It's the fastest V reversal in the game now, correct? That's 12 frames. It's an interesting change. I think this is a good change for him. Really big change. Not many characters can V reversal stuff. He can V reversal now. Bushin Gram, EX Bushin Gram. Damage decreased at the base and the part that nullifies projectiles by 10. A little worse. Not too much though. Damage decreased on the Gram. EX Bushin Gram. Change the blowback for the first hit. Change the horizontal blowback on hit. Not quite as far. M Bushin Gram. Techie. Why is it Techie? This is just the... I don't know. It's a weird name. Damage decreased on hit at the base. So slight damage decrease up close, right? Does that mean his just combos are a little worse? A lot of these changes are for a specific reason. You'll see in a second. Damage decrease on hit at the base. Damage decrease on hit for the projectile nullifying part. Expanded hitbox for the part that physically hits from the second hit onward. Ban is the uppercut. Oh, okay. So the uppercut slightly changed. Change the movement distance upon directional key input. Change the trajectory on startup. This is the EX Bushin flip, right? The one change that's the biggest, right, is that he can change between his stances after the special moves. So there are nerfs to the grams, but many of the times he can follow up the grams with stance switch into something else, which is really buff. That's a very buff change for this character overall. Especially stuff like anti-air gram run slide. That is really, really strong. The first normal move performed from E to 10 can be cancelled. Changed invincibility timing from 6 frames to 3 frames. Changed so that a crouching HP that hits a crouching opponent will force stand. This is big. This helps a lot. This is what's it called? His V trigger, correct? And this is V trigger 2. Address the phenomenon where all the hits would not connect when canceled from certain parts. Yeah, I have seen that happen. Change movement distance. Change from one-time usage to timer type. Added the special move. Damage decreased. Stun decreased. On hit. Reduced the opponent's blowback time. On hit. Change the projectile invincible until the active frames end. This is, what's it called? This is an interesting change to V-Trigger 2. I still don't think many people will play it as much because V-Trigger 1 dash is really buff. The V-Trigger 1 dash is very buff, especially when you're young Zeku. Young Zeku is very strong with it, for sure. Having a real invincible move is very buff. So yeah, old Zeku, slightly decreased damage on some of his grams and stuff like that, but also has the ability to stance cancel them, which is like huge, right? Being able to change into young Zeku after the grams means that he has increased combo potential, increased set play potential, and he has extra like positions where he can juggle on the screen or like get better knockdowns because of it. Yeah, V-Trigger 2 is the most reliable AA for young Zeku still, probably, yeah. Forward throw damage increased, EX meter gain increased, stun increased on his throws, right, for young Zeku. Reduce anti-air jab, which does not feel like it happens. I still got anti-air jab like 100 times by young Zeku. Jumping HP, change the hitboxes and hurtboxes to match a change in the motion. Jumping HK, expanded forward hitbox, deleted forward hurtbox, reduced and expanded the hurtbox. New hurtbox on the move. I don't know what that's like. Change so that it does not build EX gauge on hit or block damage increase. This is V skill, right? That's interesting. V reversal, attack startup, reduced from 17 to 12. Right, they have the strike V reversals that don't knock down. Eased combo count. What's Bushin Show? Which move is this? What's Bushin Show? H Bushin Show. Fix the phenomenon. The projectile nullifying hitbox would not be generated. It's the palm? Ah, gotcha. So the palm can juggle a little bit more. I've seen some new combos with palm and V skill as well as stand switching. Hazanto. EX Bushin Show recovery increase from 20 to 21. That's not that big of a change. I don't think anyway, right? It shouldn't affect combo potential that much. H Hazanto attack startup slightly reduced. Does this make it so you can cancel off of fierce and it combos now? Is that what this changes? Or has that always been like that? Damage increase from 80 to 100 on this. What is this move? Is this the air throw? Or is this the run slide? Damn, stun increased. What? They increased the stun on run slide? Jesus. That's an interesting change. This is a run overhead, run slide, and run overhead got buffed. Wow. Yeah, same V skill or the stance change earlier can be canceled from almost all these moves, right? Invincibility timing change from 6 frames to 3 frames. So he has the ability now. Zeku has the ability to use his V trigger run as a reversal, which is very big, right? It means that in a many gaps you can actually use your V trigger as a reversal, which is really big. You can combo run slide from stance change now, right? Yeah, I've seen that. The gram and like run slide to combo and you get Oki after. That's very big. Yeah, same V trigger 2 change we saw before, and same CH chains we saw before. Like, overall, the thing that they did with Zeku is I think exactly how he should have been in the beginning, right? Which is more fluid about stance changing, which opens up additional options for zoning for old Zeku to zone and then switch into pressure when he gets the zoning to land. And then same thing before, right? Where you can, switch from young Zeku after your pressure back into old Zeku and then quickly start zoning again. You don't have to like back up, give up position, switch, and make it super obvious. You can kind of hide your stance switching a little bit better, which I think is like an important thing for this character to be able to do, right? The idea is to be able to fluidly switch between the two forms and zone and also rush down like at a more equal pace depending on what you want to do. Like build a lead with zoning, switch to the knockdown, or get a knockdown, switch to young Zeku, run some offense. If that doesn't work, switch back into old Zeku, go back to zoning. You have like a little bit more of a fluid playstyle. This version of the character I think is pretty good. I don't know how good just yet. It's hard to tell, right? But I think this character is pretty good. I also think he has a lot to him. He's not a very simple character to play. It'll take some people to figure him out, I think. But definitely much better than he was before. I thought he was pretty weak last version compared to many other characters. We'll see how good. It depends. Forward throw. Added 1 frame of recover after the throw. Increased separation distance to prevent her throw loop. Sakura shoulder throw, backwards throw, damage increase. This throws you pretty far away. Air throw, damage increase. Landing recovery on whiff increased. Harukaze. Is this her V skill? Can be canceled into from cancelable normal moves. Yeah. This makes her V skill. She has some new combos with her V skill that I've seen people do. It seems like it's okay. Standing light punch, reduce upwards hitbox. Yep. Standing light kick, adjust active frames from 4 to 3. This makes this a little bit worse, but not too much. Adjusted the motion. Hitboxes are adjusted. It's still further than her crouching medium kick. This is still her best whiff punish button. It's still the normal choice that you use. The active frame on this definitely sucks, but it's still the whiff punish god, right? It's still her whiff punish move. It's still further than most of her other moves, so you have to use it. Crouching medium punch, advantage on hit, increase from +2 to +5 means you can combo after it better. It's +7 on counter hit, which is very nice. Pushback on hit slightly decreased, pushback on block slightly decreased. A little bit better as a pressure tool. A little bit better, right? Upper, expanded the forward hitbox for the first active frame. Moved the hitbox forward for active frame 3 frames. Active frame 3 frames was no longer trigger a crush counter. Reduced the backwards hurt box. This is her uppercut, right? Just her regular upper. Oh, this back hit heavy punch? That makes sense. Expanded the forward hitbox for the first active frame. Is this supposed to make it a better anti-air? It's a much worse anti-air now? Is that true? If so, that sucks. I didn't think it was that good to begin with. I thought it was okay. That's to make it not drop from a distance from standing medium punch. Counter hit jab, strong, back fear still does not combo that often though. But standing medium punch into it does. Sakura Otoshi changed the stun on this. This is interesting because Sakura Otoshi has more interesting juggles you can use now, right? It used to be 40, 80, 120 to 30, 40, 50, or 80, 80, 80 to 40, 80, 120. So they made it so that you couldn't just do like 80, 80 stun and then juggle after 80, 80 stun and then like you get this crazy stun value off of it, right? They made it so that if the last hit whiffs, you don't get as much of the stun as you used to. Damage increase? What the fuck is this move? This is the change because her Otoshi, the V skill, juggles a little bit easier now. You can do it off of more things because it's cancelable off of different special moves and normal moves. V-reversal change, we already knew about that one. Reduced the hitbox, added 5 frames recover on whiffs. What is Hogasho? I don't know what Hogasho or Okakyaku is. V-skill kick. It's not that useful of a move, but okay. Is this her air throw out of the V-skill? HP, HK, and V-trigger 1. Oh! Okay. This is her, like, little fireball thing where she does that, right? V-trigger, like, the palm. That makes sense. Heavy Tatsu, reduced startup from 25 to 24, damage increase. This is great. This means that standing medium punch, back fierce, you can combo into heavy Tatsu, and it leaves you point blank at +2. This is a nice change. A change that I think Sakura will really benefit from. Hadouken damage increased slightly. EX Hadouken damage increase. Startup decreased. She gets to keep her advantage and disadvantage. You can cancel into V-trigger. This is a nice change for her. She got some new combos and juggle potential because of this. V-Hadouken changed the overall movement frames. A lot of her Hadoukens got changed like this, right? Changed the overall frames to be less. Increased the advantage on block from her charge Hadouken. This is her what's it called? This is her charge Hadouken in V-trigger 1, right? That's up fireball? Gotcha, that makes sense. So same changes we saw before, right? Less overall startup. Although they reduced the damage on this, which is surprising. As surprised as I am as Philip S. hitting me with the Twitch Prime. So surprised that I flipped my words around. Thanks very much. Up fireball changes. They're very similar to the rest of her fireball changes, right? They try to make it so the fireball was a little bit more useful. I don't know that that will be that noticeable of a change to this character. Her fireball is not that strong, although it seems like it's always been the intention that her fireball was not that great. She's more of a rushdown character than a zoning character, right? They made it juggle a little bit easier. You can V-trigger cancel them so that you can get additional combos. They're okay changes. I think the heavy Tatsu change is probably the biggest change overall to her. The back fierce change to help with the combos is nice, although not that big of a deal. And the V-trigger activation off of EX Tatsu is great. I think Sakura's buffs are decent. I don't think this will make her go up that much in the tier list. A lot of people think it'll make her go up a lot. I don't think it'll change her that much. The heavy Tatsu change and the V-trigger and the EX Fireball change seem to be the biggest changes to me, but not that huge. Hey Arturo, people are saying that you can't live in New York for $250. If you won Capcom Cup, $250,000 a year is not enough money to live in New York. I didn't realize you were balling, Art. You must be making $400,000 a year to live in New York comfortably. You must be, because people in the chat think that $250K is not enough to live for a year. In fact, it's not even enough to live for like 3 years. New York is that expensive. Art is balling. He must be making that money. Yeah, San Francisco is wild, actually. Nobody should live there. It costs too much money. Blanka. V-reversal. Increase the pushback on block. Increase the opponent's blowback on hit. Lightning Beast. What is this? Reduce 2 frames of recovery to the V-trigger cancel. What's Jungle Dynamo and Lightning Beast? I don't know what these moves are. I don't know what they are. Do you guys have any lore for me? I don't know the move names for this. Electric Thunder. Advantage on block +2 to +3. This is big. It makes his crouching medium kick a much more dangerous move afterwards. His frame traps are a little bit better. Oh, V-trigger 1 and V-trigger 2. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, Electric Thunder going +2 to +3 is great. EX Electricity, damage increase, stun increase can be canceled in V-trigger. Nice changes. These are nice changes for Blanka overall. Electric Thunder, stun increase from 180 to 230. This is V-trigger 1. This is V-trigger 1 Electricity. Right. Backstep rolling. Change the blowback damage on mid-air hit. Ease combo count. Decrease the landing recovery from 14 to 11. Is this a V-trigger 2 thing? Or is this... No, this is Rainbow Ball, isn't it? This is Rainbow Ball, correct? Because now if it hits out of the air, you can juggle a Blanka ball. This is a big deal. And also the landing recovery is great. Damn, EX landing recovery from 13 to 5. People are going to be whiffing this shit into throw all day. I'll talk about the money in a second. EX backstep rolling. These are big changes. V backstep rolling. Decrease landing recovery again. Yeah, 14 to 11. Ground shave rolling. Change so that the first and second hits will be blocked successfully. Reduce the disadvantage on block to -4 to -8. Is this V-trigger ball? Ground shave rolling max charge. Oh, this is the V trigger when you hold it down. That makes sense. Reduce the damage from 250 to 220. Change that the final hit causes a guard break. Right. Okay. This makes sense. This is the V skill one. Blanka, I think, was not super great. He was just alright before. I think that he's actually pretty good in this version of the game. I think he jumped up quite a little bit. The changes to Rainbow Ball make his movement a lot better, actually. And the electricity change is really great for his frame traps, which I think were pretty weak before. So that's the patch notes. I think most of the characters didn't drastically go up or down in a big way. And I think most of them did not. But I think that there are some characters that got some nice changes. I'm surprised by some of the nerfs and some of the buffs, but overall the patch is pretty big. In fact, I feel like this patch was bigger than the Season 3 patch overall, you know? Kind of surprised that Capcom has gone with something so big. But, you know, it is what it is.